Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of SacTown Movie Buffs. Once again, I'm Kier, and this is Jason. And today we are back with two new movies to review. We'll be reviewing two actual, holiday or Christmas films. The first being Happiest Season, which I found on, where did I find Happiest Season?
That's Hulu.
On Hulu. And then Fatman, which is on
Wherever you find it, wherever you rent movies online.
Yeah, on Amazon Prime. So those are the two films we're going to be reviewing today. And I say, without further ado, we kind of just get right into it, man. So let's get into it. With the first film on deck will be Happiest Season, and I will allow you to take that one on, Jason, if you don't mind.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Happiest Season is a Hulu original romantic comedy, Christmas movie, of course. It stars Kristen Stewart and Mackenzie Davis as a couple, lesbian couple, who basically one of them, Mackenzie Davis's character, is really into Christmas, and Kristen Stewart, which I think is kind of a new girlfriend for her, is not so much into Christmas for reasons that we find out a little bit later into the movie. But basically, it ends up that Mackenzie Davis invites Kristen Stewart's character home for the holidays with her, and then kind of regrets it a little bit the next day. And then we find out the reason is because she has never actually come out to her family. And her family is kind of the upper crust, fancy, wealthy, uptight family that she is not looking forward to coming out to, because she probably has a feeling that she won't be accepted. And she also has a very competitive relationship with her two sisters. So it's that kind of family. It's that kind of competitive, wealthy, upper crust, upbeat kind of family. So she takes Kristen Stewart back there with her, and she kind of confesses to Kristen Stewart on the way, that, and they were cool with it. I lied, basically. I haven't come out to them. So on the way there, she basically tells Kristen Stewart that she's going to have to pretend to be her roommate, which is a familiar situation for any gay or lesbian people out there, the roommate situation. So they go there, and she's okay with it for a while. She's okay with pretending for a while, but of course, things happen, and really, this movie, besides the fact that it's still pretty shockingly rare that a gay or lesbian couple is the center of any mainstream movie. It's pretty much almost never still. Besides that fact, which is nothing to sneeze at, that is a very important thing. Besides that element of it, it doesn't really do much that you would expect of any holiday romantic comedy. That's not really a slight. I'm just pointing out that besides that one element, it's pretty much your standard home for the holidays, farcical romantic comedy, where there's going to be some laughs, there's going to be some division, a big argument or something like that, and then everything's going to come back together at the end. It doesn't upset any of those predictable aspects of it. Like, if you want just a warm, predictable, friendly, funny holiday comedy, this is it. It doesn't really break any molds, but I was okay with that. I think the acting is really good. It is funny. It's a little too over the top at times, but it is funny. I did like all the characters. It's got a really good cast. I've always been a big Kristen Stewart fan. I was not into the Twilight movies or anything like that, but much like with Robert Pattinson, I always knew there was a lot more to her as an actress, and she's made a lot of really interesting choices before the Twilight movies and since the Twilight movies. And I thought she was definitely my favorite part of this movie. But Mackenzie Davis is good. Daniel Levy from Schitt's Creek is good. Basically playing the same character, but he's good at it. Mary Steenburgen, Aubrey Plaza, Alison Brie, Victor Garber. It's got a really good cast. Again, it doesn't really break any molds, but it's funny, it's warm, it's heartwarming. I'm a big fan of holiday movies, so it's got a lot of good holiday stuff in it, But yeah, it's not it's not gonna change the world really. Well, in some ways it might, but it's an ordinary romantic holiday comedy, but it's well done. So I liked it. How about you, Kier?
Yeah, I didn't dislike it. I mean, like you said, other than the lesbian couple element, I mean, is it really that much far removed from a Hallmark movie about, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's the only thing that really, I guess, it really had going for it that makes it different than any other, romantic comedy centered around the holidays. Is always something, if it's not the lesbian couple, then it's something else that they're hiding or whatever that they don't want to tell them about or whatever case may be, or there's always something else that's going on. And I've seen tons of movies that follow this same kind of playbook, but just it's a lesbian couple pretty much is the way I kind of looked at it, where all the families kind of stuffy and pretentious, but it kind of reminded me actually of like a more like a Meet the Parents kind of movie, you know what I mean, where it's like, you're coming home for the holidays, but not as funny, not as what's the word I'm looking for, it doesn't quite have like that, Kristen Stewart's kind of like the Ben Stiller character. Basically, she's coming to meet like this prestigious pretentious family or whatever, and I'm sorry,
waspy family.
Yeah, exactly. Coming home to meet this family, and they have their own little quirks as well, you know what I mean, and they're not 100%, you know what I mean, like this one they're more of a secret or whatever, but it's still kind of that same kind of feel about it, where she's wanting to make a good impression on the family. And they lightly touched on like her kind of screwing up or doing things that would make the family maybe question just her character and stuff like that. But it just, I don't know, there wasn't really a whole lot there for me, like I said, other than the lesbian twist, I guess, if you will. So I thought it was okay. I like all the actors and actresses. I love Daniel Levy and Aubrey Plaza and everybody that's in there is they're all fine actors. They're all good people, but there just wasn't anything that was like, oh man, I got to see this again. You know what I mean? This is going to be a staple holiday film in my household. You know what I mean? Like I said, I like holiday movies too, but I've seen so many movies that are kind of in this same kind of realm that it was kind of forgettable for me, I guess, if you will. So it didn't do enough for me that made it memorable. And like I said, how these stories are going to wrap up, like you said, at the end, they're going to be, more than likely okay with the relationship. You could tell that wasn't the kind of film that, and that's not a spoiler. You could tell it wasn't the kind of relationship or the kind of film where, they were going to find out that they're a lesbian couple and kick them out of the house or something. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't anything earth shattering. You knew going into the movie that's kind of what was going to happen. So, and like I said, I don't feel like that's a spoiler or anything. I think that's just knowing how these types of films go. So I thought it was okay. I didn't, there was nothing, like I said, that special about it to me, in my opinion. So I just thought it was okay. Doesn't do anything bad, but doesn't do anything great. And, like I said, it's not, you're probably not subbing it into your, yearly Christmas movie, film watching, you know what I mean? More than likely, you know what I mean? For most people. So, but you may get a couple laughs here and there and you might enjoy it, but I kind of will leave it at that. So. Cool. Anything else you wanted to add about Happiest season?
No, I liked it. Maybe not every year, but maybe every few years I'll watch it.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah. All right. Well, probably not for me. I'll probably just move on to something else. So, but cool. All right. Well, moving on to another holiday film, but in a much different tone. Which is going to be Fatman, which stars Mel Gibson as Santa Claus, or the Fat Man, if you will. So this one's interesting because Mel Gibson plays Santa Claus, and basically he is... it's kind of hard to explain because basically it's kind of set like if they're like, in a real... kind of like he lives in a town, he lives in a neighborhood kind of thing, and he's also Santa. So he's not like like Santa though. You know what I mean? He's not like the good wholesome Santa. Like, you know, he goes to bars and has drinks and you know, stuff like that. So, you know, he's a little rough around the edges kind of Santa, basically, if you will. You know, he's, you know, boxing, hitting the heavy bag in his you know, in his, you know, shed and that kind of stuff. And basically over the years he's, I guess, kind of lost his a little bit of the holiday spirit, just because he doesn't feel like, you know, he thinks that people have lost the holiday spirit, so he's not as super jazzed about, you know, the holidays. And I guess like they get a money or they get stipend in order for all the toys that they build and make and deliver to all the kids, you know, across the world or whatever case may be. And that money train is starting to run low, and they're kind of losing money, and that kind of stuff. So they kind of basically, him and the elves have to take on like this like contract with like the military to make like weapons, basically, in a sense, for the military and stuff like that. So there's that angle. On the flip side, there's also this little kid, this little like rich pompous kid that's like a teenager, or not even a teenager, he's like preteen, I think, that is like super rich and super pompous. And he's a bad kid. Like he, you know, like threatens to like, you know, hurt a girl because she won like the science project and he came in second place where he expected to be in first place. So like basically, you know, hires his hitman, who is played by Walter, how do you pronounce his last name? Goggins?
Walton Goggins.
Yeah, Walton Goggins, who I love. He plays pretty much the same kind of character in almost every film. He's always just kind of like that quick-witted, you know, kind of like just, you know, quick-witted. Even if he's a good guy, he's kind of a bad guy. You know what I mean? He's always like, you know what I mean? In this case, he is a bad guy. But basically, he hires him as his like personal hitman. And so whenever he gets into like any issues, he hires him to like, and pays him to basically come and like, you know, so he like hires him to like kidnap the girl that wins the science fair, and, you know, threatens her and basically says, hey, you know, we're going to, you know, kill you and your family and your dog if you don't like, you know, tell everybody that you cheated on the science fair. That's the kind of stuff that this kid is about. Well, so of course this kid's a bad kid, and of course for Christmas he, you know, gets coal instead of presents because he's a bad kid, and so he takes it upon himself to basically hire his hitman to basically kill Santa. So, and the hitman was a bad kid as well, and I'm sure received coal many years as well. So he's more than happy to do it because he is not a fan of Santa. So this is like cool. So that's basically where the movie goes from there. It's basically him going and trying to find Santa and seeking him out so he can basically go and kill Santa. And it kind of just goes from there. So that's the basic gist of it. So it's an R-rated holiday film. So it definitely has a lot of violence in it for obviously for a holiday film with Santa. Most of the violence I feel like takes place towards the end. There's a lot of violence at the very end of it, but it's funny. It's fun. Like I said, it's a very violent film. It's a little different than most holiday films that you're going to see. Definitely different than Happiest season for sure. So definitely not one you're going to find on the Hallmark Channel. Let's put it that way. But overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a fun film. Definitely one that I would personally revisit. Like I said, I'm a big action fan to begin with. So any film that has action, and it's definitely a holiday film. I would say even more of a holiday film than say Die Hard is, in the sense that this one there actually is a Santa in the movie, and he's actually going after Santa to kill him. But obviously Santa being played by Mel Gibson, you can already imagine what kind of Santa that is. That's not going to be your Tim Allen Santa, that's for sure. So it's definitely going to be more of your rough around the edges Santa. That's like more like, well, let's bring it. You know what I mean? Like this Santa, and is like I said, he shoots guns, he practices target practice and stuff like that. Just in case somebody's coming and wants to bring some trouble to his doorstep. So he's a much different kind of Santa than you've probably seen in most films. So definitely a little bit of a different Santa. It's definitely an action movie. It's definitely violent. Like I said, it is an R-rated film. So whether it's for all the kiddies or not is it's up to you. I would say probably at least preteen, teenager before you would want to show them this film. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I laughed quite a bit on it. There's a lot of funny lines, mostly from Walton Goggins. He's just always hilarious in everything he does. I mean, almost everything he's in, vice principals or what's the new one that just came out that he was in? The Royal Gemstones. He's kind of like that, just that character. If you've seen any of those in, those shows, that's who he is. The Hateful Eight, yeah. So he, definitely uses a lot of, curse words, but the way he uses it is in a very funny way. Just the way he says certain words are very funny. I'm gonna leave it at that. So, but I enjoyed it in a nutshell. What was your take, Jason?
Oh man, I loved this movie. I watched it twice in one day, even because I rented it, and I rented it, and I thought my partner would like it, and it happened to be we have a thing called movie night where we watch a movie every weekend. 1 week it's my choice, 1 week it's his choice. So it happened to be the day that was my choice for movie night, and I had the rental for 48 hours, so I was like, I'm just gonna watch it again. I'll show it to him tonight, and he loved it too. It's just, I love this movie. This is definitely going to be one of my new favorite Christmas movies, and I like a lot of Christmas movies. But I thought it was extremely funny. The action's really good. I think Mel Gibson, surprisingly, was a really good Santa Claus, like a grizzled hardcore version of Santa Claus, but still Santa Claus, He was still Santa Claus. I mean, I was gonna say, and he's not like an evil Santa Claus. He's still Santa Claus, but he is definitely rough around the edges. That's for sure. So like that's what I thought was cool is that you hear about this movie, it's Mel Gibson, it's ultra violent and all this stuff like that. I don't think that's all true and everything, but I don't think anybody should fear watching this because they don't think it's gonna have any Christmas spirit or anything like that, because it does. I mean, it really does have like a moral center. He's a good Santa. It's a dark movie, but it's not dark in the sense that he is really Santa, and he does. It is about holiday spirit, and it does have a moral code. And Marianne Jean-Baptiste is really, really good as Mrs. Claus or Mrs. Kringle, I guess, and their interplay is really warm and genuine, and she's always making cookies and stuff like that. It's a traditional Christmas movie in a lot of ways, but it's just also got a lot of unusual elements to it. And I thought, like you said, Walton Goggins was just like hysterical. And unfortunately, I can't say most of his best lines because we tried to get the out of the show. But man, I love this movie. I love it. Love it. It's definitely one of my favorite movies I've seen this year.
For sure. I just remember one of my favorite lines that Walton Goggins says when he's in the store and he's talking to this lady and he tells her that she reminds him of his mother, and I can't go into the explicits of it, but it's hilarious. So when he said that, I just busted up laughing. But let's just say he didn't like his mother. But I agree. It definitely, it's definitely not like, Silent Night, Deadly Night or anything like that. I mean, it's definitely, it still has a holiday spirit, and it's still, he still is, a Mel Gibson Santa is still, has, like you said, has a moral compass. He's not like a bad Santa. He's not like out looking for trouble or anything like that. He's just, he's just the kind of Santa that's gonna, protect himself.
The hero of the story.
Yeah, exactly. He's just the hero of the story, and he's going to protect himself if someone comes to do him harm or do him, do wrong to him or, to his elves or his family or anything of that nature. So, So no, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Definitely was a film that I didn't know a whole lot about it going into it. I knew it was an action film, and I knew that it was, R-rated, so it piqued my interest immediately, just based on that. So, but I was very, very pleasantly surprised in the film for sure. So, but that was a very good one. Good one. Anything else you wanted to add about that one?
No, I just loved it.
Cool stuff. All right. Well, on to our reviews. Let's start with Happiest Season. The overall grade and face you would give that one.
All right. Yeah, Happiest Season. It's it's fairly standard holiday romantic comedy, but it is well done, and I did enjoy it, and the representation is important. So I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, which is for me a solid B, which is this face, just a regular smile. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Cool. Yeah, I went a little lower, about a star lower, of course. So I went with a 2.5 out of 5 on that one. I thought it was okay. Like I said, I didn't dislike it, but I didn't love it either. So I'm probably gonna go with this, just a basic smile on that one, no teeth or anything. So I'll give it that. So because it's not a bad movie, there's nothing wrong with it per se. It didn't do anything wrong. It just didn't do anything great. So it didn't do anything that warranted a second visit for me personally. So that's about the best way I can say it. It doesn't do anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. The actors are all good. The story's good. It just didn't move me in any kind of way. So yeah, but that was pretty much it. And then Fatman. The overall grade we would give that one, and the face you would give it.
I loved it. I loved it. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5, which for me is an A minus, which is this face. Cheesing it. Big smile.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely like that one quite a bit. But I'm always about a star lower than you, and I will be again. I definitely liked it. Yeah, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. So definitely liked it. So I give it a smile with some teeth. So that's the face I'll be giving that one. So, but yeah. So like I said, let us know if you've seen either film, both films. Let us know down in the comments your thoughts or takes on it. As always, if you like the channel, we ask that you like, subscribe, make sure you hit the bell notifications so you don't miss any of our updates. And we'll be back again soon with another show for you. We thank you for watching and hope you have a great day.